Cam, good to see you. If I could just start with the sort of the big breaking news in the last hour, I'm sure you've seen it, and it's all anybody's talking about. Where you are at the concession, very disturbing images that we're seeing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I just saw the images. So, yeah. I mean, if you have to be pulled out with, I think they call it the life of Jaws, or Jaws of life. It's definitely not good circumstances. So, um, everything I've seen, I think he's in surgery. So obviously, hopefully, everything goes well with that, and he can make a full recovery from this.
I don't know whether you've just been on the course or whether you've been in the range or wherever, but is it everybody? Is everybody talking about it there?
Not yet. I don't think most of the guys who are out there, either if they notice it on their phones, but I don't think really everyone knows yet. Obviously, once you walk inside the clubhouse, all the TVs are on with it on the TV. So I'm sure by the end of the day, it'll again everyone's gonna be talking about it.
Yeah, and just everybody obviously just keeps their fingers crossed that the injuries aren't as bad as you would think they appear.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
If I could also ask you before we get on to the reason we're discussing, I just also want to ask you about how are things at home, because it wasn't great that you had to basically cancel your trip to LA last week.
Yeah, I mean the weather. I knew it was coming. We knew it was going to be bad, but we didn't think it was going to be that bad. So I was going to wait out until the last minute. I wasn't going to leave my wife with all that, and we just got a bunch of new baby animals, farm animals. So I wanted to make sure all of them didn't die on us, so that they could survive. And but yeah, we had no water, heat, or propane for a few days. We had to run some things off a generator. I was able to fix our well. Luckily on Wednesday, kind of afternoon, got the water going back again, but there was just too much ice and I couldn't get out Wednesday. And Thursday morning was kind of the same thing. So, um, it's unfortunate. Obviously, I love LA. I love Rev. It's a great tournament, but it's just stuff like that doesn't happen very often.
No, not at all. And is the structure of your house, is that okay?
Oh yeah, everything's fine. It's just when it gets like for us, Texas is not built that way, so everything just freezes completely. So it was amazing to see what froze that you would not think would have done that. So
Let's get on to discussing, why we're here, and this initiative, I suppose, that you're backing throughout the month of February is really impressive. So just tell us a bit about it.
yeah, we just all my partners, SAP and SRS, they're really behind this. With especially taking their logos off my bag and ball. SAP was the main supportive of this, and kind of having my back on it, kind of going through the process with us, and connecting with all the small black-owned business owners, and then just showing the support. Obviously COVID has put a lot of strain on a lot of people. Majority like the lower middle class and lower class, it's kind of devastated them. So for me this year, it just felt like it was a cool and fun thing to do, to give back and kind of do it a little bit different.
You say a cool and a fun thing, but it also must give you a real sense of pride that you are doing this.
Well, yeah, definitely. This is something that I've always done since I was little, that my parents kind of, ingrained in me. No matter how much money you have, just always give back and do as much as you can. So, just doing those video calls with them, kind of telling them what we're doing, again, just to see their smile and appreciation. It definitely hits home because I was on the opposite side of that screen at one point when I was younger. So.
Yeah, and as you touched upon there, it's been such a difficult last year for a lot of businesses, but particularly the black-owned businesses. We saw last year when you wore the black and the white shoe as well. You must feel as a bit of a champion for the black community.
No, definitely. I think, like you said, on tour, there historically and even now, there is not much color or just minorities in general. So, I feel like where I'm at, just personally, with my family, I think it's the right thing to do. It's not a subject that's talked about enough. It's really only talked about when there's tragedies. So, for me, I just feel like I'm at the point where, I kind of believe in myself more, and I trust in myself, to really just follow what I truly believe in and what really are the hard facts. So, For me now, it's just moving forward, just staying true to myself, and again, doing as much as I can.
Why do you think that? It's something I've discussed with a number of golfers over the last year. Why do you think there is such a lack of diversity, in particular on the PGA Tour, on the European Tour as well, really? When arguably the greatest golfer of all time is a black man, and it was 24 years ago they burst on the scene, you would have hoped that in that intervening 24 years something would have happened.
Obviously, golf is a very expensive sport. I almost stopped playing it because of that when I was younger. My parents could barely afford it, especially nowadays to play junior golf. I mean, it costs thousands and thousands of dollars to even get to the top. So, majority of the minorities come from minority communities. So again, they're making lower average incomes, and they just can't sustain to be able to play the game. So I think a lot of it has to do with that. And again, it's just getting the initiative into those communities, getting programs around it, which the tour has been huge on with me and supporting me. What we did for Prairie View A&M, and then their support system that they're building now, it's huge. So it's just getting the kids introduced to it, I think, is the main thing. Obviously when you turn on the TV, and they watch basketball or football, there's people on the TV that look like them. So if that was the case with golf, I think it'd be a little bit differently. But to get things going, I just think we just have to target those specific communities and show them that the game is fun. It's not running around shooting hoops, but it's for me, I think it's a long life sport. You can play it for your entire life versus basketball, football, you have kind of a shorter window.
I think the murder of George Ford has had a profound impact on a lot of people and on the world as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that was reflected in sport. What impact did it have on you personally? And do you feel the world is now a different place, a better place, because of the reaction that there was to it?
Yeah, I think that was kind of the tipping point for me to kind of start speaking up and just saying things. I think just watching that, regardless, which it came out that all the false accusements that he was, media was throwing around was completely false. It's just that's just how the world is. It's if you take that situation and you move to a middle class neighborhood, that would never happen. So it's just the perception of the black man that's been prolonged for hundreds of years, especially in those communities which are rough. But again, that's just how the systems are. I grew up in, my neighborhood was okay, but you drive a few miles where my grandpa was, and it was, each street had their own block. And that's just how it was. But that's just generation after generation after generation. And once you get in the system, it's impossible to get out of. I think as a whole, I think things are slowly starting to go in the right direction. But I think before anything really truly happens, it'll be long after I'm gone from this earth. So.
Yeah, I mean, just touching on that, when you were a kid, did you ever have a few people look up when you walked into a clubhouse, or anybody come up and say, you're not welcome here, or anything like that? Was that anything you ever experienced?
No, not me, because again, when majority of people look at me, you never would think I'm mixed. So, but my dad, yes. I mean, that's happened a few times. In one incident, it actually happened on tour when it was my rookie year. It happened in a restaurant. So that was, that was very shocking to say the least. I was not expecting that, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen as often as you would think, but again, it's just the overall view of the black man. It's, I can't remember who was saying it, but, God, I just lost my train of thought. Anyways, really lost my train of thought.
Don't worry, listen, I've already taken on enough of your time. Just a couple more questions. Let's talk golf, and it probably hasn't been the start to 2021. You would have hoped, a few missed cuts in there, but how is the game looking at the moment? What's it like to be at a WGC where that all the best players in the world are all there?
Yeah, I'm moving in the right direction. I'm doing all the right things. I'm making some changes as far as where I want to be and how hard I need to work to get there. I think I was lacking in that a little bit. Just trying to ease my way through, which you can't do that in this game. So I've been doing the right things, going through my processes, and then for me, it's just really just developing as a person. You can all of us have lives outside of this game, whether once we leave this place, our wives, our families, our kids, what's going on at home. So it's just really developing as a person and handling both sides of it and, trying to create that equal balance to where I can put all the time I need to into golf and also manage everything at home. So I think for me, I'm just in a better spot now with that, with my wife and everyone back home. And, I haven't been playing well, but the progress, we've seen it, and it's just, for me, I feel like it's just a matter of time. So just got to keep pushing along and just keep playing.
And just one final question, Cam, would be remiss of me to have the biggest hitter on the planet in front of me and not ask him about the whole distance debate,
Yeah.
especially, the announcement from the RNA and USGA a few weeks ago. Does it feel like they're trying to clip your wings or something like that?
I mean, regardless if anything's done with equipment or ball, it's still going to be the same. So the long guys are still going to be honestly probably longer if you make the ball or clubs shorter. So I would say the balls specifically. But yeah, I mean it's just, and honestly, there's really not much difference in the last 10 years as far as that goes. Obviously, you have your few top guys who hit it the furthest, but for me, again, it's you still got to get the ball in the hole. You still got to do everything else to be able to score. But I think as far as distance, regardless if it's equipment or if I know there's been the discussions. I didn't really hear about that, but if there's discussions about equipment or ball, I still think the long guys are still going to be long, and the shorter guys will just get shorter. So.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Listen, Cam, I won't keep you any longer. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
And best of luck this week. Hope it goes well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.